Hey YouTubers, this is Old John. I'm going to make a video today on putting a reinforcing bar on my garage door opener. It's starting to split. This garage door is pretty large, pretty heavy. It's an 8x16 and it's a steel door. It's got two steel outer plates, and then on the inside is insulation. I think. Now, I'm not the original owner, so I don't absolutely know that, but that's what it appears to be. It's a CHI door, which is a pretty decent door. What I'm going to use on it will work on most doors, I think. Here's the reason I'm going to reinforce it, which it should have been done in the beginning. The door, due to its weight and this bracket being too small, it's starting to split. The metal is actually starting to split around the bolts. So this needs to be larger. The best way to do it is put additional support that will come down here. We'll go from this strut all the way down to this hinge and support this whole piece here. And so the first thing you do is measure what your top section of your door is. And mine's a 21 inch. Then I shopped around online and various sources looking for one of these, and what I found, which is more readily available, at a Lowe's, not too far from where I live, had this in stock, and it's an adjustable bracket, and this will fit sizes 18 inch, 21 inch, and 24 inch sections. So I got it at Lowe's for $16 plus tax. Comes in two sections. And bolts that will go through the sides here, so you can adjust it. And it slides obviously up and down depending on the length you need. And these bolts will go through these holes on the side to adjust it to the length you need. And then there's also a pin for where the J rod attaches from the garage door opener if you need it. I'm not sure if I'll need this or I can use the old one. So the box has good instructions on it on the bottom. And diagrams, which are helpful. And the first thing you want to do is, of course, make sure everything's off so the garage door opener won't accidentally be activated by somebody in the household or whatever. And you can disengage it here with the pull down device. Make sure it's disconnected there. Just for curiosity's sakes, you'll notice I have mine covered with duct tape. I found out that when you have your garage door open, because these are typically red, and hummingbirds fly into your garage thinking that's a flower. Apparently their vision's not the greatest in the world. And then when they figure out it's not, they have a tendency to want to go up. And then they get stuck up in the top of your garage. I'll give you a link to a video I made on this. So anyway, that's what that's covered. But here's the pieces put together, and they slide together. And then there's 4 bolts. And if you'll notice on the inside there are square openings, and this bolt has a square top to it. So you put that through, and then put the nut on. And then it's going to go on approximately like that. So I'll tighten these bolts up, and then the next thing we do is loosen these 2 bolts here and the 2 bolts that are holding the tiny bracket on, and then the brackets on the strut, and then we'll be ready to attach this. I'm using an 11mm socket on these bolts. They may vary depending on your model of garage door. Taking off the old bracket. And the pin, we can probably reuse this if we want. The bolts on the hinge are smaller. Now you can see the damage a little more. This door is probably about 18 years old, and I'm the second owner of the house. We've owned it about 11, 12 years, and my wife usually uses this side of the door until she retired, and she'd drive and raise it every day, you know, twice. But since then, now we're both retired, we probably only open the door a couple times a week. So this probably would have failed a lot sooner under normal circumstances. I left the adjustment bolts loose just for this very reason. I need to adjust them a little bit to make the bracket slightly longer. Because until you, like anything, until you actually get it up there, you don't know exactly the length you need. Now we have to adjust the J strap or J-bar, whatever you want to call it. I had to use the longer, whatever this is called, rod. Hem was already on there because this is wider than the bracket. And you get that with this package, this kit. We put the little spring on. Tighten these up. These were pretty tight. I had to use a cheater bar. They hadn't been taken off for many years. These are 13 millimeters. There's the cheater bar I used. I'm raising the garage door. I'm going to move the car out, so in case the whole thing falls down, I don't want it to land on the car. Okay, I had to readjust this. I had this J clamp too far down. I think I had it hooked in here. And what that caused when this went up, it caused too much tension on the channel, and it was really blowing up. And when I pulled on the release here, you could really feel that the tension was being relieved. So try to get this adjusted through these two bolts here, sliding these pieces up and down to the height you need. If you have two garage doors like I do, you can kind of compare to the other one to get some kind of an idea. Or, take a picture before you put the new one on and just get a feel for it. But at any rate, then, of course, go by your book. Oh, before I talk about that, so then I put this new rod in, because these are wider than the bracket that was on there before. And see, I released this. I would have put a one in here, but whoever put this on drilled this offline. It's not in center. And I could put another one there, but I'd have to drill another hole. Someone tried to drill a hole. I installed it here and here. So it's just a matter of taking these out and putting it in. I could have put this underneath this hinge, but I don't think it matters. But that's something else to think about. So then operate it, and you want to note how far it comes up close to this motor also. So let's operate it. And note how far it goes and how close it is to the motor housing. And you might compare that with the other side if you raise it. But If it goes too far, then you need to back it off using these side switches, and they'll adjust it approximately 2 inches, I think, at a time. And this will make your door heavier, so it's probably going to try to exert more force. So you're probably going to need to back the force off. That's what I had to do. So okay, so seems to be working normally. So I think we got it fixed, and hopefully now the door won't continue to break around where the previous bolts were. It shouldn't. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. I've got over 300 videos at Harrison 4803. I have a video, and I'll leave a link. Replace the wall unit to this overhead garage door opener. Just about a month ago, I don't think there was a relationship between this one to the left going bad or not, but I'll leave a video on that. I have other mini videos, my John Deere mower. I have probably 10 videos on various things, replacing filters and oil changes and removing the deck, mower deck, and replacing belts. I have a snow blade that I put on. I've got videos on that. I've hooked up solar to my refrigerator in my house, and it runs it. That's the inverter, and these are the batteries, and that's the controller. I also have a plug on the outside of my garage. It comes in, I've got it coming in through a conduit, goes into my control panel so I can hook up my generator, which is right here. It's an 8500 starting watts generator. There are my solar panels, 2 of them. I'll leave you a link if you're interested in that. I've got them mounted on my John Deere wagon, which is handy because I can move this around as the sun goes around, because in the summertime the sun will go, well, this is south, straight south. In the summertime the sun will go all the way around approximately like that, whereas in the wintertime it only goes approximately like that. It's amazing how much difference there is. And so especially in the summertime, it's handy to be able to rotate these. You gain maybe, I don't know, 10 to 20% more efficiency. So I'll leave a link for that also. So I think that's all for now, YouTubers. So this is Old John signing out. One thing additional about the LiftMaster controller we discovered, we were having trouble with it wanting to shut off and not come back on. And I got to reading the manual, and it says in there, when you have light bulbs in, you want to make sure you use a standard one. And I think the reason is they need to be tall, because the shorter ones, it says a short one is too close to the union and it overheats it, and it'll cause it to shut off prematurely. We had a curlicue, the kind, they're actually fluorescent bulbs in there, and that was causing the problem. So as soon as we took that out, it solved it. Now the LED, I'm not sure, but it's something to think about. Some guys online say the LED bulbs cause erratic behavior with your unit also. Just keep that in mind then.